to my Yahweh, all the glory to my God, yeah. I did my toe and now I'm fresh, yeah. Shout out to my Abba, yeah. I follow, no regrets, yeah. They ain't learn they lesson, I'm still blessed when disrespected. Father got me eating while they out here looking packaged. Ugh, you just mad I ain't following Twitter D. Looking at me like enemy, only like in vicinity. I'm so high with the energy, yeah. You follow his way, yeah. Follow his way, yeah. Laser light show never fade, no. Ain't no stage chill. We got all night, no switch, we that bright light. On lane, we might take flight. Flight check ain't no right height. We don't fall or lose sight. Follow his way, yeah. Follow his way, yeah. We got the juice, we got the watts. Ain't no way we fading. They go low and we go high. They play ego limbo on the other side. We keep humble, ain't no honor in your pride. Lying in me, lethal weapon on my side. Praise my God, promise we ain't coming down. Same thing for the...
Yo, peace. What's going on, folks? Very sad day today. Capitol Hill has fallen in many ways. And it's not really too much we can do about it. But we can move forward. We can definitely move forward. First and foremost, I want to say my condolences to the young woman who was shot earlier. Nobody should have to succumb to being killed during times like these. No one. Nobody deserves that. But I will say that the fact that give me a second.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they go low and we go high. They play ego limbo on the other side. We keep humble, ain't no honor in your pride. Lying in me, lethal weapon on my side. Praise my God, promise we ain't coming down. Same thing for the crown, same thing for the team. Break it down any
My apologies. I had to step away for a second. But it's a very sad day. Again, my condolences to the young woman who was shot earlier. My prayers to her family and those who knew her. My prayers to those who had to witness that tragedy. Because I know that can be hard. Losing a loved one can be hard. All of us have at least lost someone in our life, and I know how hard that can be. This topic for me is not a good topic in a stance that we have a government who is in power now, who is absolving the responsibility of what happened today onto one person. For the last 4 years, and I would say longer than that, last five years, since President Trump has even went to say he was going to become president, They have been antagonizing his followers. Antagonizing them. The media has said a lot of things about President Trump and his followers. And our government and the governing body that's in place right now has said a lot of things about people who have supported and voted for President Trump. They've played politics with the suffering of these people during a pandemic. They've run them through the ringer with false narratives such as Russiagate. And now they have the audacity to play this up as the sole reason why any of this happening isn't because they gaslighted these people for 4 years, 5 years, counting when he originally decided to become president. You remember when Obama said Donald Trump would never be president. Way back then when they made him out to look like a clown or buffoon, but they do this with almost every single Republican president. Remember what they did with George Bush. I would beg to say President Trump was a greater president than George Bush himself, because President Trump didn't get us any new wars. He was trying to get us out of the wars we were already in. That was a part of his original policy. Guess who blocked him? The same people who are sitting here talking about they have more money for the wars and the military industrial complex than they have for the common citizen. But then they want to say that this is Donald Trump's sole fault why all of this happening, because he himself antagonized these people and bolstered and pushed them to this brink. And that is not the truth. That is not the truth. Yet again, they have found their scapegoat. And it's an easy scapegoat because he's the president. This is the fault of the United States government. Social media. The same social media who was too big to fail like the American banks. So they need to be bailed out. The same social media that ran coverage and false narratives and false China information, even against their own government. That social media. Who pushed the narrative and pushed one party off of their sites. That social media. What about the news media? When they ran sound bites and politicized things that didn't need to be politicized. Overreaching with their constant opinion pieces. Irritated with the man in power because he called them fake news. Because the only thing that they really run are opinion pieces. And at every single step of this man's come to power, they told him he was a horrible president. He wasn't smart enough to be president. He wasn't. And as they talked about him, they also said the same thing to his people. They gaslit these people. And now they have the audacity to turn around and say, it's y'all fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. I have an issue. I have an issue with the fact that we are now seeing the swamp as it always has been. And now they're showing their true colors. Because as he's going out, even his own party is turning their backs on him. The only reason why the Democrats went for $2,000 stimulus checks are because it would allow them to gain political power over the Republicans in the Georgia runoff election. They had every opportunity to make a deal that would actually work, but yet they didn't. They could have amended it. They could have amended the Cash Act. But no, they didn't. Mitch McConnell consistently blocked suffering people from having some alleviation of the woes that they constantly have. But they blame Donald Trump for bolstering the anger that is going on right now with this section of people. You know, it's kind of funny that the people that they're calling Republicans right now, or they're calling thugs, have the same eerily have the same type of frustration with the government that the Black Lives Matter hashtag groups have, not the organization. The people who follow the actual movement, the hashtag pushing for an agenda for equality against the government. And here we are again with a totally different narrative where you have people who are fighting against the government to have some semblance of equality against the government. Which y'all think is just about an election. It's not just about an election. It's not just about turning over an election. It never has been. The entire reason why Donald Trump became president is the same reason why these people are upset. Because these people were not heard, and Donald Trump gave them their voice. And now they see their voice being dampened again by the same elites who wouldn't fight for them when it came to stimulus during a pandemic. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I'm not. But now we know who really is in the swamp and how the swamp works. Right in your face. And when 2024 rolls around, if there's a resurgence of Donald Trump, this period of time is the reason why. Because while all of the Democrats and all of the liberals have their swing at the bat right now, They're going to eventually fall asleep, just as they did with Obama. And when you get a resurgence of Donald Trump, it's going to be worse than it was this time. For them. Because we know Donald Trump holds grudges. This is a sad day for America. Not just because a young woman was killed protesting against the government, but because our government does not want to take the proper responsibility for what is done to the American people. Love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. Peace.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they go low